Hey guys, it is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. It's great to be with you on Inspirations for Your Life. Today, it is July 3rd, 2025, and a big welcome to everyone here that is tuned in for the very first time for Inspirations for Your Life. If you are, coming back for multiple times, then I, of course, welcome you to be here today on the Inspirations for Your Life show because we've got an amazing show here. And if you have come here many times, so of course, I welcome you back. It's always great to have people that have been with us for a while and find value in the show. So, again, a very big welcome to everyone if you're new, and of course, a big welcome if you're coming on back. You can always catch more of these shows, more of my short form content and long form content by visiting believemeachieve.com. You do that 24 hours a day. You do that right after the show, absolutely. And by the way, the master topic that we started on last Saturday is walking forward with purpose. And today's granular topic for July 3rd, the day before July 4th. Hey, how about that, guys? It's a really good one. I think you're going to love this master topic. You ready? All right. So the master topic for, I should say the granular topic, really, it's the granular topic for today. And that granular topic is real strength is shown by mastering destructive impulses. Series 4, Show 27, episode number 6. And again, a very big welcome to everyone. So let's get the show kicked off. All right, everyone? By the way, we air anytime in the morning from when I get up to just before I go to bed. But I do put the show on every single day. So again, if any of you guys are thirsty, well, head over to the kitchen, get yourself something delicious. Maybe it's hot, maybe it's cold. I had some orange juice, and I have my RO water here. Whoops, just got that in my eye. So feel free to do that. Get something hot, something cold, something sweet or tart, healthy or not. That's totally up to you. All right, guys, and hurry on back. So welcome to another provoking and, of course, thought empowering episode of Inspirations for Your Life. I am your host, podcast coach, engineer, serial entrepreneur, video producer, and much more. I'm John C. Morley, and I'm also a passionate lifelong learner. Today, I'm diving into what it really means to be strong, okay? True strength isn't about how loud we shout or how hard we hit back. It's about mastering the destructive impulses that could tear us or others down and away from our dreams. When we choose control over chaos, we unlock the path to lasting growth, resilience, and of course, inner peace. Let's explore together how each of these principles can help you live with more intention, grace, and of course, power. You ready, guys? Let's kick it off. So number one is strength. Strength equals self-control. Real strength isn't in overpowering others. It's in mastering ourselves. When destructive impulses rise up, whether it's anger, frustration, or it's jealousy, true strength means choosing to pause, breathe, and to act with purpose. Self-control allows us to truly stay focused on what truly matters, even when emotions run high. By learning to harness the strength, we become leaders in our own lives and set an example for those around us. Number two, think, guys, don't react. In moments of tension, the first instinct may be to just lash out or to defend ourselves because of some quick feeling we have inside. But the real power, actually, guys, comes from thinking before we act. Reflection gives us clarity, helping us choose words and actions that align with our values. When we think and not react, we turn those challenges into, opportunities for growth. It's a practice, it's a mindset that transforms conflict into understanding and builds stronger connections with others. And I think that's all we want today. We don't want to alienate ourselves from others. We want to be part of teams because we can do more when we are part of groups. Ready for the next one? I'm sure you are. So these are very, very important things. Very important things. So that's going to take us on to our next one. Um, and I think this one is kind of cool. Um, Pause is equal to a power. There's incredible power in the pause that we choose to take in life, that moment of stillness between impulses and actions. It's where strength lies, and it lives. And when we pause, we create a space to choose wisely rather than react impulsively. Pausing lets us gather our thoughts, regain our center, and respond with intention. This simple practice can diffuse conflict, deepen respect, and keep us aligned with our true purpose. Channel energy. Destructive impulses often come from that powerful energy that can be redirected toward creation, not destruction. When we channel that integrity, okay, which is what we all need to do, into something positive, we can innovate, we can build, and we can inspire not just ourselves, but others. Instead of letting frustration or anger control us, we can use it as fuel to empower us and solve problems, support others, or work together on mutual goals or missions. It's a shift that turns challenges into triumphs. Master yourself. Mastering yourself means being aware of your impulses, acknowledging them, and choosing a higher path in life. It's about cultivating discipline and emotional intelligence so that your choices reflect your best self. Each time, guys, you master a destructive impulse, you strengthen your inner core and armor, becoming, well, more unshakable, more confident, and more at peace. Let me say that again. Each time that you master a destructive impulse, you strengthen your inner core and armor. Calm beats chaos in a world, well, full of noise and turmoil. Being calm is the ultimate strength. When you stay calm, even as storms rage around you, you bring and reign in clarity and stability to any situation. Calmness disarms, well, conflict. It soothes tension. It helps you navigate challenges with true wisdom. It's not weakness, it's mastery. And it's what allows you to lead with heart and true courage. I think these are important things for everyone to understand. But I know that in the heat of the moment, people sometimes get so, I don't know, they get so unruly. They get so frustrated because, they want it now. They want it now. They want it now. They don't understand what it means to be in the moment, to enjoy life, to understand the blessings that we either have today or the blessings that have not yet reached us. This is the part of the show, guys, I really like. I like the whole show, but this is one of my favorite parts. So I'm now going to give you a personal lesson or story uh, for each point to teach something. And it's my hope, guys, that by doing this, you're going to awaken that sleeping giant within you. The giant that basically wants to get out, that wants to explore this amazing world. Okay. And I think that can be hard for some people because sometimes they don't know when it's time to let the giant out. The giant is basically that innovative, creative self, the one that says, hey, you know what? You're good at what you're doing, but you know what? If you let me help you, I think we could be a lot better. And I think the reason the giant doesn't come out is because people get so, well, stuck in their ways. And they feel that the way they've been doing it in the past is right, but that might not be wrong, but there may be a better way. So when we talked about self at the beginning, we said self is about self-control, right? Strength is self-control. I remember a time early in my career when a client unfairly berated me during a meeting. The younger version of me wanted to snap back and defend myself on the spot. The heat of frustration built up so strongly that I could feel my heart pounding against my clothes. But I paused for a moment, took a deep breath, held it for a count of 3 or 4, let it out for about 4 count. Did that a few times. And by pausing and taking that breath and reminding myself that real strength doesn't lie in winning the argument. It lays in staying composed. That's what the ego would want me to do, to, you know, overcome this with power. And that's not the right thing. I calmly acknowledged their concerns and suggested we take the discussion offline to better address the issue. The decision not only salvaged the relationship, but it earned me respect as someone who could lead under pressure. Sometimes people want to push your buttons, and I think that's a terrible, terrible thing. They do. And when they push your buttons, they're wanting to, well, get a rise out of you. Even though they know that may not be the right thing, they have this childish way and figure that's the best thing that they can do because they want power. Their ego wants power. They don't want power. Their ego wants power. And the ego sometimes gets in the way of the real person that we are in life. I think that's a very, very important thing. Later on, guys, that client privately apologized for their behavior. And we went on to do great work together. That moment taught me that self-control isn't about suppressing emotions, guys. It's about choosing the right time and place to act. When we master ourselves, we can influence outcomes far more powerfully than when we let our emotions control us. I think that's something that many people don't realize is that there is a time and place for everything. There's a time for communication. There's a time for explaining something's wrong. There's a time for being grateful. There's a time for speaking out. There's a time for listening. There's a time for just being in the moment. There's a time for choosing to take a breath and getting ourselves in full composure. I think those are really important things that many of us need to learn. Think, don't react. Once, during a community project, a disagreement erupted between 2 teams over how to allocate some funds. As you could imagine, tempers started to flare up immediately. And I was caught in the middle of this situation, feeling the urge to pick a side and respond on the spot. But instead, I asked for a short break. I stepped outside, I took a walk with a few deep breaths, and thought carefully about what really mattered, serving this community and preserving harmony among the teams. But I needed some time to regroup. It gave everyone else some time to regroup. And when I returned, I proposed a compromise that addressed both sides' concerns. The teams appreciated the thoughtful approach, and we moved forward stronger and better than ever. That day, I learned that when we think and not react, we make room for creative solutions and preserve relationships that might otherwise be damaged by hasty words or potential actions. So a lot of us believe that, if we're hit, we've got to respond. But I don't know if you guys know this, not responding is responding. You might say, well, John, that makes no sense. Processing is responding. It lets the other person know that you're thinking about it. And if they still are pushing, like, I understand where you're coming from. I just need a minute to process all this. Resist. Don't destroy. I once worked alongside a colleague who constantly tried to undermine me. There were moments I wanted to expose their behavior or confront them harshly, but I knew that doing that could also damage not only my reputation, but the entire team's dynamic. Instead, I chose to focus on excelling at my work and quietly documenting the situation in case it needed to be formally addressed in the future. Months later, leadership noticed the disparity in our actions without me having to stir conflict. My resilience and focus were recognized, and I was given more responsibility. Resisting the urge to destroy taught me that patience and integrity often achieve what aggression never could. Again, this wasn't a local community group. What it was is not important. But in this group, everyone always feels they need to be right. And after the situation, I started realizing, you know what? Being right is nice, but maybe being right is overrated. Maybe learning from something, never knowing that the choice and the path and the roads that I took were going to lead me to greater victory. I just knew that it was the right thing at the moment. I think most people, when they have the choice between the right thing and what's going to empower them, well, that's when you've got to take that pause. That's when you've got to realize, again, that pause equals a power. Think of pause like, maybe you're watching a show. Could be streaming it, what have you. And you choose pause on your remote control. And that allows you to go to the kitchen and get yourself a snack. It allows you to do some important things. But what it doesn't do is get you riled up in the moment. And so when you pause, it's like you have this ability to do some amazing things in life. But people are afraid to pause. Okay? They are afraid to pause. I'll never forget the first time I had to deliver some, not great news to a team. We lost a major client. I could feel the tension in the room and the expectation that I'd have all the answers immediately. But instead of rushing to speak, I paused. I took a deep breath. I gathered my thoughts calmly and chose my words carefully. That moment of pause gave me clarity and allowed me to communicate with honesty and optimism rather than panic. And not only did I have the right words, but the message got delivered in the right manner because my body matched. And people could see that my words were in alignment with how my body was delivering the message, which is the most important part a lot of times of the message, the part you don't say. Afterwards, guys, several team members told me that my calm approach and demeanor gave them inner confidence in the plan we created together to move forward. That experience reinforced for me that the power of the pause is in creating space for wisdom to emerge. Now, you know what happens? Our group has basically a sign. And whenever somebody's getting too riled up, they literally reach down and they hold up the pause sign. And people chuckle like, "Oh, yeah, you're right, you're right. I got to take a pause. Yeah, I should. I'm getting too emotional with this decision, or I'm letting my ego get too involved." And they laugh about it because no matter where we go, everybody always has a pause sign. And I just think it's comical. One person said that we were going to make an LED light that says, pause. I have one guy that actually has a thing for his computer that says pause. And whenever he does a remote session with somebody and they're getting out of whack, he just throws this big pause up. And sometimes if they're not getting it, he literally puts their name like, "Hey, Mike, how about a pause?" And then that kind of gets them because they thought some people think the pause is like not for them. They think the pause is like we should pause the meeting, but it's not for them to pause. So I think that's a kind of a cool thing to realize. Energy. We're all energy. My computer, my hands, legs, this water, my iPhone. It's building it, beating, I should say, the impulses in it thousands of times per second or more. And so everything is moving. Everything still has molecules in it, not to get too deep with you. This gets into our quantum physics, which I won't get too deep in today. But if everything around us is energy, the show, my car, where I live, everything is energy. That means that we have the power to affect it. There was a period when I was dealing with intense frustration over a stalled project. Rather than letting the frustration boil over into all complaints or blame, I funneled it into, well, action. I stayed late, reworked proposals, and brainstormed new solutions. I also encouraged the team to join me in problem-solving sessions instead of venting sessions. I think that's an important thing. When we can redefine what a session is, like the fact that this is not a venting session, or the fact that this is you might want to call it a problem-solving session, or you might want to call it a work session or a productivity session. Sometimes the words make a big difference. If you call it a problem session and your team doesn't relate well to the word problem, you might say, gee, this is a brainstorming session, or this is a work session where we're going to get on the same page, or this is a productivity session, or this is an improvement session. I found that works a lot better than calling it a problem session, because if it's problem, people are just thinking it's a problem, and you want to put people in a positive light. In the end, okay, that energy transformed into, magical innovation. We secured a better client than the one we had lost, and that taught me that strong emotions don't have to be destructive. When we channel them, they become the fuel that powers great achievements. But sometimes you just have to realize that it's not about rushing forward. It's walking briskly and being aware of everything around you. That's probably one of the most important things I want to share with you today. The next point is master yourself. Years ago, I faced a personal betrayal by someone I trusted very deeply. The initial sting made me want to lash out or sever ties with them completely. But instead, I spent time reflecting, journaling, and seeking counsel from my mentors on the team. I chose to master my feelings and respond with dignity rather than anger. A lot of people knew several people had challenges, but it wasn't about calling people out. It was about the fact that we needed to work together. It wasn't like, hey, Jim, you're getting up in my face, or hey, Mike, you're being nasty. It's like, all right, I know we all have, a desire to get this company to grow forward with more clients. And I know we all have our own ways to do it. I think it's important that we put all these ideas on the table and then we figure out how we can get them to dynamically integrate so that they work together as a symbiotic connection. And to do that, we need to put them out there in a way that is non-judgmental, that is without emotion, just the facts, all right? Just the ideas, and then we'll kind of review them. The choice not only protected my peace, but also helped me heal faster and stay focused on what truly mattered. Mastering yourself doesn't mean you don't feel hurt. It means you choose responses that align with your values and protect your growth and others. Calm beats the chaos. During a major tech system outage at our company, not our fault, people were panicking. Alarms were going off. Calls were flooding in. And it felt like the sky was falling. I made a conscious decision to center myself before giving any direction. I gathered the team, acknowledged the stress, and calmly outlined our recovery plan. That calmness made contagious, uh, people settle down. It focused and solved the problem faster than expected. What was the problem? Well, we had a provider that had suddenly gone down. And so all we did was we rerouted our traffic to another provider, and we were able to resolve the issue within a matter of maybe 5 to 10 minutes. When people were calling in and we let them know, yes, we are aware of the situation and we are implementing a fix as we speak. One of our providers has gone down. We're in the process of rerouting traffic. You might get some errors for the next 5 or 10 minutes, but rest assured, we are working on this. And like I said, before the end of the hour, which will be in about 10 minutes, everything will be back up and running. If you have any more problems, feel free to give us a call. That was a lot better than, oh my gosh, we're trying to reroute the traffic. Now, we didn't know how quickly it was going to work, but we were very focused on the fact that it was going to work. And guess what? It did. That's important. That day reminded me that calmness is most powerful force we have in the middle of chaos. When you choose to be calm, you create a ripple effect that helps everyone around you rise to the occasion with clarity and strength. I'm going to share another one that's in fire prevention and also in fire drills. So I was on a, let's say, a call. And when I say a call, basically it was a fire call in our building that we were at in college. And suddenly I realized that the best thing to do was to be calm, regardless of whether we thought the alarm was real or not. And doing that calmed everyone else down and made people see that, you know what? We're going to get through this. And that's the most important thing. It's our vision and it's our belief that sets it through. Have a great day, everyone. See you soon.